Okay, I'm smack in the middle of seed prep day again here. I did not end up staying up late with the honey locusts. I'm actually picking at them now. I am hoping that the hot water method for stratification ends up being a useful one because it's so much faster than individually scratching them all. I'm hoping to do that with a lot of these. That one doesn't seem to have any seeds in it. So, you can see my fingers are pretty gross, and that's because with honey locust, there's this sticky stuff inside, and that's how it gets its name. Apparently, when these are more fresh, it smells and even tastes like honey. You don't eat the seeds, but you can eat like this gum stuff that's in there. But I can assure you that after 3 months on the tree, it smells really weird. Not terrible, but really weird, and it's very tar-like at this point. I actually haven't had it fresh. Now, ignore the label on this lid. It's an old label. But I find this fascinating. Do you see that dark green color? So these are my Redbud seeds that I put in hot water. So basically, I made Redbud, and again, ignore the label. That's not what that is. I basically made Redbud tea, which is pretty dang hot water used to soak the seeds that will then soften the seed covers. Now, these are a good 2 or 3 times bigger than they were. And the ones floating are no good. And what I'm noticing is the ones floating pretty much all have weevil holes in them. So, that makes sense to me. This is the grody, labor-intensive side of getting your seeds for free from the cityscape. So, these are the seeds that I got from outside of the Busy Beaver, along my one bus route, and there's all these husks that I've popped seeds out of. That's why there's so many seeds here. I've been sitting here hand separating and picking them out, and so they're all over the place because sometimes they like bounce off my chest, sometimes they kind of go flying that way. There's a few I'm gonna have to collect. And these ones were similar, but they didn't smell funny, so I was able to do them inside last night. That's actually why I decided not to do the honey locust last night, as I looked at the bag and went, ooh, those are probably going to smell weird. Pardon my sneeze, I'm sorry. So the next step with the Redbuds is I'm going to put them hopefully in some of this clay again. I think I'm going to make my seed bombs smaller, though, so that they, and hopefully a little bit softer, too, because I kind of want them to splat instead of roll, but that's going to make them pretty messy to throw as well. It's alright. So, that's how far along I've gotten here, and this is a pretty short video, but it's okay. This is not Myrica pennsylvanica. It's Redbud, which I do not off the top of my head yet know the scientific name, but I can put it in the description. It's easy enough to look up. Redbud trees. They are in the bean family. I am so sorry. I am making this video so shaky, and it's completely unnecessary. The redbud are in the bean family, Leguminae, and so are honey locusts. So that's part of why I chose them for this project. Blur. That's part of why I chose them for this project is because they are nitrogen fixers. And that soil is barren over there on the landslide. And I'm using the seed form because I do not believe yet that I can, I do not yet believe that I can walk on any portion of the actual slid part of the landslide, and I am not about to find out. This is a 220-foot slide down the mountain. Does not sound like something I want to include in any part of any day of my life. So this is me just creating things that I can throw and get out into that area that hopefully by spring will start to root. I noticed there's quite a few plants that can also help with that along the edges. We have maples of I don't know what variety, and I do actually have red maples up the way that I could probably go search for seeds in my neighbor's yards. Emergencies lead to me being a little bit crazy looking. We discussed this in yesterday's video. If you're interested in the whole landslide situation, check my channel for the landslide playlist. It's in there. And we're doing landslide remediation with seeds and willows. Seeds of many species so far, and willows overall. The edges. And I think I may end up ordering some Salix interior. I don't know how to pronounce Latin, I try. Salix, it looks like the word interior, but like spelled funny in Latin. And that is a spreading, low-growing willow that also happens to be good for basket making and weaving and stuff. But for the most part, it doesn't get more than 15 foot ever, they say. And it's spreading. On the Vermont willow site, it's described as being almost as annoying almost as aggravating an effect as knotweed. So you might not know knotweed, but I'm sure you've seen it. Some people mistake it for bamboo, but it drops its leaves and dies back to the ground every winter and has little seed heads on it right now this time of year. And it has 12-foot deep root, and it is a plant that in its native habitat is designed to be the first thing to crack through and grow on fresh lava flows. So it is an incredibly aggressive plant, but it's so invasive that it is absolutely destroying native habitat throughout, I don't know, probably most of the U.S., but definitely here in the East Coast, all up and down the East Coast. So it's an important one to look out for. It's called knotweed, K-N-O-T, and the word weed, W-E-E-D. And again, I could look up the scientific name on that too and put it in the description. It's so easy to Google this. You just put in common name, scientific name, and then just double check that the photos that come up are what you're actually looking for, because common names are often given to multiple plants. So me and my grubby fingers are gonna call this video over at this point. Since we've basically just been staring at seeds, we can go look at the view, because I am outside. I'm allergic to something, which is a bit annoying. I have furniture on my porch because a friend is coming to pick up my unwanteds, which is great. I can't wait to see them go. And, yeah. So here's the day we're having. Overcast, but really warm. It's 50. It's December and it's 50 degrees out here, so it's really warm out here. And it's a nice day, I think. Not a terrible day to get my hands wet with clay and stuff. Eventually, if I keep doing this throughout the winter, I'm going to have to be making seed bombs in my kitchen, probably. And I'm sorry, my nose is just running like crazy. This whole, 50-degree thing, it's comfortable, but it definitely aggravates my allergies. I don't know what I'm allergic to, but I'm not enjoying it. I think I'll also finish trimming the last little bit of Aster over here and put it in a bag, and additionally carry it over and throw their seeds. I may do the same thing with the, we were just looking through, this low-growing thing is, you know what, no, I'm not going to do it with that because that suppresses growth of other plants. I want that on my hillside. I don't think it's a good idea for the other hillside. That's goldenrod. Goldenrod has allelopathic properties. Allelopathic means releases a compound into the soil that stops other things from growing. So we're not going to take those over. We're going to let them continue to grow on my portion because it's a good root system that is actually keeping the invasives at bay, and it's a native. This is native, and it's not the same plant. This is a Aster, and I'll just pack it up in a bag so it doesn't fluff all over on the way and lose all its seeds. I've been meaning to trim this back and get the seeds onto my part of the cliff, but that part of the cliff sounds like an even better idea. So this is how I collect free seeds. I keep a really close eye out on all of the edges of my commute everywhere, and I'm always staring out windows looking for things and identifying plants casually and kind of keeping a mental database of where seeds are. And then it's also a matter of being able to recognize plants in the wintertime, especially ones that hold their seeds, because this is past the last hard frost. So seeds that are still clinging to their parent plant are an important option to keep in mind, because the ones on the ground are probably not any good. That's a very light acorn that has signs of rot on the top. So that's just an empty dead seed that no birds or anything picked up. Hasn't connected to any ground. So we're not going to get any good acorns right now. So the chestnut oak idea is going to kind of have to wait a little bit, unless I had collected them earlier before that happened, which I have exhausted a lot of my seed stores on this project as well for that reason. So we'll go take a look at the cliff again today with the seed dispersal. I think I don't know what I'll do if we'll have a chatty video while I make seed bombs or not, but we've had a chatty video about stratification, seed prep, and did we talk about stratification? We should have a designated video about that at some point. Gosh, it's a cold day to be on the river. Look. What are those guys doing? It's 50 degrees. Okay, great, but... And those are all really similar boats. That's strange. Those aren't like recreation boats. What are those? I mean, they're probably recreation boats, but they're... Oh, look, bird! Bird, 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 bird. That is a juvenile redtail. I do believe that is cool. Alright, so this is what cliffs are good for. What are the boats doing? Oh, look, it's a hawk. You know, red-tailed hawk. Yeah. Alright, I like living up here. It's fun. I hope you're having a really good day, and do take care. Okay. Bye!